Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and I'd just like to apologize for being a couple of minutes late on the start of this. There is a reason for that. Two emergencies came up for my viewers in the last 10 minutes, and I thought it really important that I get thoughts and prayers up. Hi there, Andy. I thought it really important that I get up thoughts and prayers for those two people and take the risk of being a few minutes late with the broadcast. Sure. All right. Big hugs to you too, Andy. A Friday evening, we try and get everybody sort of moving towards their good. Thank you. I should not have done that. I hope I've still got a broadcast going somewhere. Hang on a second. Lord. There we go. Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah, you sent the link and I accidentally clicked on it. And so I had myself talking to myself, Jody. But thank you very much indeed. Just hold on, everybody, for a second. Hi, Jonas. I'm going to put the link up for people just in case they need it. They haven't seen it yet. And then we can start. We're going to be talking about taking steps towards our goals. And because what happens is, I don't know if any of you have noticed this, but we start off well, and then for some reason, we forget that that's the goal that we thought we were going towards because we're not doing the right amount of work on it. Oh gosh, I've got the wrong link going now. All right, hold on one second. And that's really unfortunate because what ends up happening is that we don't do what we mean to do. And so that's why today, yes, as you on your craft projects, yes, how many of you relate to that one? You start well, but you don't finish. I am going to get this link up, Jody, so just bear with me. I'll try not to do the same thing again. Copy link address, that's what I wanted. And then we're going to get that up. I'm sorry, guys, but I can't do that until after I am actually up and live. It's one of those very frustrating things in life, but I can cope with it. There we go, hopefully. Yes, I think that's it. So I just so that everybody yeah, I've got this right. A bit slow, but I've got it. It just takes me a little bit longer. And the problem is, hi Nana. The problem is, and hi Kerry. The problem is for me that my mind is now on Pat and Lauren. If you didn't see it, guys, I just in the last few minutes got two different notifications. One from Lauren telling me that her sister is in ICU with a heart condition. And then just as I got that notice up, I got a notice from Pat who told me, let me just see exactly what she said, because Bill's brother was just diagnosed with a rare aggressive bone cancer. And so, but I've put the thoughts and prayers up, and I really would ask you guys to, for those of you who are believers, and even if you're not, could you give some thoughts and prayers to our viewers who are, and everybody actually, but particularly for our viewers who are struggling with these huge, stressful things. Yeah, I did say hi, Nana. Did you miss it? Yeah, our little family, as you say, has got a lot going on. There's no doubt about that. So, Nana, I did talk about your hand at lunchtime. So how? Oh, okay. Well, I did say hello to you. So so I've got witnesses. How are your fingers? Perhaps typing is not something I should ask you to do. But anyway, so very sad to hear what happened to you. For those of you who don't know, I was going to talk about it a bit later, but I might as well do it now, had you? Is that Nana went to go and put some shoes on in her garage and was holding onto a shelf and managed to drop a couple of paint cans on top of her fingers. The swelling's going down and the bruising's coming out. That's, that's always so pretty, isn't it, Nana? I mean, it's like, I'm not sure which I like best, the sort of slime green sort of effect or the yellow. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, there is no good bruising from a bad bruise, in my view. Yeah, so Nana, I don't even want to think what you said when it happened. And how many times had you held onto that shelf and never had the problem? Oh, yours goes purple. Okay. There you go. Me, I go from purple to this sort of, do any of you relate to that greeny color that's really yuck? And then eventually it goes yellow, and then if you're really lucky. I get it most times when I go for blood tests because they have to take it from my hands. So you do that every day and it's never done it before. Okay. So therefore, there's probably a message in there somewhere. Don't hold on to that shelf or move the paint cans, and make sure whatever there, if it falls, it's not going to do you any damage in future. Would be my suggestion. I just want to thank everybody that participated at the lunchtime broadcast. We had a really, I thought, quite a powerful broadcast at lunchtime. We were discussing the difference between aggression and assertiveness, and we were talking about sometimes how different things happen, even if the intent wasn't to be aggressive, but that even so much as one word can turn an ordinary conversation into something that's aggressive. And I want to tell you something. As I said at lunchtime, I fall into that trap all the time. I am definitely somebody who does that a lot, and I don't mean to, but I do it, and I own it, and I know it happens. So what I was going to say is that if any of you have issues with people, or you have the issue and you know it, about aggression as opposed to assertive, or if you don't know what assertive is by comparison, I think we did quite a good job of describing the two differences. I would hope. Jody will obviously say yes because Jody's Jody, but I think we did quite a fair job of that, where we gave enough examples where you could tell what was assertive and then what was aggressive, and where the difference is in those things. So just in case you missed it, just know it's there. Today, we're going to be talking a bit more about taking steps towards our goals. And for those of you who are new to the program, welcome. We do a few sort of housekeeping items first, and as soon as we've got those done, we will start the actual broadcast. And so for those of you who are new, a couple of things. Number one, if you're ghosting and watching this by not being, hi Beth, and by not being in the room, welcome. We always welcome ghosters. We've had so many people who have watched the broadcast for years, and then eventually one day they feel safe enough to come in and chat about their stuff. So just know you're more than welcome, and feel free to come in when you are ready and just discuss your stuff. Just for those of you who don't know, as soon as I get off the broadcast, what I do is I go into the technical part and I will turn off the written chat, so that nobody will be able to see what was written or your name, except I do call people by name on the channel. If you say something that I think might be too personal, and that you might not want it to be advertised to the world, then I will just say to you, is that okay if I repeat that in public? And I do try to be pretty careful about that. I hope some of you have found that to be true. I don't always get it right. So the other part of that would be, if you don't want it to go public, then either state it right at the front, do not repeat, or don't say it at all. So that would be the safest way. Hi, Liz. Yeah, Liz, but we know it's you. I mean, what can we say? Lizzie made it. Well done, Lizzie. So We are going to quickly just go through. As I said, we've got thoughts and prayers going out to Lauren for her sister who's in ICU. We've got thoughts and prayers going out to Pat. Bill's brother has just been diagnosed with a rare bone cancer, I believe. And so please, let's keep them in our thoughts. Also, obviously, for the boys' coach and rescuers who are trying to rescue those young men in Thailand, I really would ask everybody to keep those people in their thoughts and prayers big time, because I think in the next 48 hours, it's going to be make or break. I cannot imagine what it must be like to be a parent of one of those children, where you know that they're safe right now, running out of air, but safe. And within the next 24 hours, they could die because people are trying to rescue them. And my heart goes out to the family of the rescuer who died in the attempt of trying to rescue those boys. What an incredible sacrifice to make to try and help others. I was just, Lizzie, I'm quite sure we all hope and pray that they get out, but the odds of that happening, I think we've got to be realistic, and that's what I've got to say, that we really do need to be realistic. For Jody and everybody else on the eastern seaboard area, I hear that rain is coming to you, or at least the temperatures are dropping. So please, hang in there. And anybody who tells you that global warming isn't happening, perhaps you'd like to tell them how hot it was, right? I didn't see Kerry come in. Hang on a second. Let me check whether she did. No. All right. So, hi, Erin. I didn't see you come in either. So, I forgot to check at lunchtime how Kerry's knee was. I think she's doing a lot better. It poured all day in New Hampshire. Yay. That'll cool it down. That's awesome. Some of you probably saw the post I put up. Becca, I sent a note to Becca today to find out how she's doing. And for those of you who can, she really would appreciate some support. And I asked her what that would look like, because I've learned with Becca, if you ask her a question, it actually, oh, there you go, Kerry, thank you. Kerry says her knee is fine, for those of you listening on the replay. So Becca said she really would appreciate people just checking in and saying hi. And what I suggest is, if it gets too intense for you, it's okay not to keep doing it. Let somebody else, maybe let me know, and I'll put up another note so we can get other people doing it. So we can make sure that she does get people checking in with her during this time. And she particularly asked for that. And that's not easy for Becca to ask for help, or anybody else. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not one of weakness. So I would really like to make sure we give her that support. All right. The other thing is, for those of you who are old timers of Dear Mama Sal, Jenny, Jen, and the bear have their wedding anniversary today. So we will wish them a very happy wedding anniversary. So that is really cute. I haven't seen Debbie recently, so I can't tell you how she's doing on her goals. We will be doing the goals pretty soon, but just in the meantime, I want to update people on what people have been doing. Beth, okay, you've got chaos going on as well. Did we hit another retrograde? Is Mercury in retrograde again? I mean, really? All right, let me continue. Beth noticed, and I was really proud of her, she noticed that her weight started to go down again, and immediately said, I need to start counting my calories again. I thought that was really adult behavior, and all credit to her. The other thing is that Charlotte completed another 5K on Canada Day. That was on July the 1st. And if you haven't seen it, there's a really nice picture on the Facebook page for that. So I think that's the news that I have. And we're about to... Oh, you might be coming to Seattle. That's awesome, Jonas. That's, within sort of my area almost. You're in the right region. um, I'll put that on our list. That would be awesome. I'm just going to put that there. Anybody else got any news and views they'd like me to keep up there? You're not sure what there is to do there. Okay, let me tell you, Seattle is an awesome community if you're a creative person. First of all, there are the obvious things like the Sky Needle. They're very well known for that. But it's got a really nice harbor area, sort of the same as, I would say, comparable to San Francisco. Where they got all sorts of food and interesting people and great music, if you like music, which I'm pretty sure you probably do. So just know that that's there as well. You did a 5K run as well, Elizabeth. Yes, she inspires a lot of people. I'm glad that Charlotte did that for you, Liz, and congratulations on doing yours. We better get that on the list as well. So it's Charlotte and Lizzie. Okay. Anybody else got any updates that I'm missing? Anybody else done 5K? I just wanted to tell you, how many of you have got a staircase within easy reach? And maybe I should do this under the goals, but yeah, I think I'll. Okay, Carrie, no problem. Thank you for popping in. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about that in a second. Carrie, thank you. Just before we start, and I want to do a time check for 17:30. Um, this segment we call One Step at the Time. So what we try to do is keep track of what everybody's trying to achieve. I don't know about the rest of you, but when somebody shows interest in my goals, it sort of makes my goal a little bit more doable. How do you guys feel about that? Because what happens if you just have a goal and you keep it to yourself? Then you obviously don't have to be accountable for it in any way, and so therefore it's more like a wish. But I think when people actually are prepared to talk about their goals and be accountable for them, that really helps spur them on a little bit. Now, just before we get into this main part, I just want to make sure you all know that I am not a doctor or a therapist or anything else like that. Um, so just be aware of that. The other thing is, like a lot of the work that we do, it's sort of like a mini workshop. So if you're somebody that likes taking notes, you may want to just take a quick run and grab a piece of paper and a pencil, because who knows, we might say something that you actually want to take a note on, because it may trigger something in your mind that you want to write down. The other thing is, of course, the replay will be available. So if you miss any of it because you have to take a telephone call or something else happens, the replay will be up as soon as we finish the broadcast. So there we go. The first quote that I found that I thought was really relevant was, "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." And what surprised me is who said that. I'll repeat it again and then I'll tell you who said it. "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." Yeah, amen to that, Beth. Yeah, that's right. Colin Powell said that. And I thought that was really interesting. Jody, thank you for the research. Mercury is definitely in retrograde between July 26th. Oh, no, it isn't yet. We're at the beginning of July. Okay, so apparently we're getting warning signs of retrograde coming up. July 26th to August 19. So did that sort of trigger anybody in anything? Have any of you chased down a dream that really did take sweat, determination, and hard work? And the reason that I say that is my definition between a goal and a passion. I don't know if any of you would like to know how I feel about that difference. A goal is something that you can let go of if you want to. I've always found that if you have a passion for something, you may try to let go of it 101 times, but you'll keep coming back. Oh, the topic time. Oh, hang on a second. The topic time was just now. All right. So I got a feeling it was about 15, but it's 21 now. So it's somewhere a little bit. Oh, you got it. Okay, fine. For those of you listening on the replay, we always like to have the topic time. So for people who don't want to hear all the updates of all the viewers that we like to do to keep everybody informed, you can go straight to the topic if that's what you want to do. Okay. For those of you new to the broadcast, I also want to let you know that we do two things. We will advise you of a broadcast coming up, normally about 35 minutes before it happens. But the other thing is, if you go to, or if you're on this YouTube page, there should be a bell somewhere near my beautiful face in the top right-hand corner. And if you press that, then it will automatically give you the link as soon as I go live. And I also put up notifications on Facebook and Twitter. So it's a good idea to follow there if you would like to be kept informed on when we do broadcasts. All right. So does anybody relate to having done that hard work, determination, sweat and tears stuff to achieve a goal? And I think I started to tell you that, I really noticed that with DearMamaSal, but it's more than a goal, it's a passion, because there's so many times I've nearly pulled the plug on doing DearMamaSal, but then I know it's what I meant to do, so why am I fighting it? And, I know it makes a difference, so why would I stop doing it? You know what I mean? It's sort of like, yeah, right, who am I kidding? It would be like telling Lizzie not to be creative, because she is. It would be like telling Jody not to care, because she does. Yes, Beth, you can really relate to that. Yeah. Beth, I don't know if it's true, but something tells me. Did you see that link I put up? I think I've put it up already. Did I put it up on perfectionism? Or I might have held it back because I had another video that I really like the look of, and I put that up. So did you see a link that I put up for anybody? Did anybody see a link for perfectionism? Okay. If I haven't put it up yet, I'm going to be putting it up probably tomorrow. But I think, Beth, it might be an idea for you to have a look at that one, because one of the things I really get a sense of, Beth, is you push yourself very, very hard. And whilst I know you think you need to do it because that's how you get things done, I think as you grow a bit more and as you learn a bit more, you're going to find that you actually can do half of that and be a happier person. And that you don't always have to push yourself to this degree. You see, Lizzie said she started her small dog bandana business. Good for you. And it's a lot of struggle and work, but it's fun. Lizzie, if you're still doing it in 5 years' time, we will know it's a passion. All right, even if you don't make money at it, right? Because that's the way I look at it, is that some things you do just because it seems like a good thing to do, other things you do because it's what you do. And I've got my earphones wrapped around the chair leg, so don't remind me not to get up and try and do something. All right, so that's a pretty important thing to do. Is Lizzie, the reason I like that you're doing it is because it uses so many of your skills. I tell you what, Lizzie, why don't you send me the link to your website and a picture or two, and I'll be able to advertise it a little bit for you on my various things. So I hopefully can bring you some leads. Yeah, Beth, I could be wrong, but that's my sense of you. You know, the reason that you have had all the problems that you have is you push yourself way too hard. You are so busy trying to prove to everybody how good you are, and you know you are because you push yourself that hard. Um, but really, you don't need to do that. Who you are is good enough. Yeah, and Beth, and I need you to hear me on that. Who you are is good enough. I know you do, honey. Have I told you about my problem with adrenaline, Beth? Okay. So this is for anybody who pushes themselves really hard. Beth, you can probably get a sense of the fact that you and I have some things in common. And one of the things that I did is I always did 150% as well of everything. And then one day I woke up, Beth, and I could hardly move. And I didn't understand what had happened. And it took me a while to realize there was actually something wrong with me. And then it took me even longer to find out what it was. And I know this sounds absolutely insane, Beth, but I basically had run out of adrenaline. And I didn't know you could do that. I thought adrenaline was something, that kept going. You used, it's like air, you sort of use it up and more comes. But apparently not. Apparently, it is possible to actually deplete your adrenaline. And so the reason I am a little bit mother hennish with you, Beth, is because I would hate for it to happen to you. Because for an overachiever, which you obviously are, there is nothing worse than not being able to achieve. And, to have to, um, uh, the viewers here will tell you if you haven't seen it. One of the things that I found was that, whenever I do a trip, I really pay the price for that. If I do a stressful trip, I probably have to give myself 48 hours to recover. Stupid little things like that. Everybody else just bounces back. I just have a real problem recovering. So I just want to give you that heads up. Um, Nana, you're not a stupid person. So why would you push your hand when it's getting worse? That sounds like not very adult behavior, if you don't mind me saying so. What are you trying to prove, and to whom? Or do you so want to draw that you are prepared to go through that much pain? If so, no, you don't like to sit still, but it's not about sitting still. Let me think. Which hand did you hurt? Did you hold on with your left hand or your right hand? Right, but you paint with your right hand, surely. You're not left-handed, are you? Did I miss that? Okay, so you are left-handed. That's very unusual for somebody to balance with their left hand to put on a shoe when they are left-handed. Most people would balance with their right hand and put on the shoe with their left hand. That's a more um, what do you call it, workable hand. So that's very interesting that you do that. Huh. All right. So Nana, you're a big girl. If you want to carry on hurting yourself, that would be called, what's that called? Masochism. Um, oh, you slide your. All right. So you slip into your shoes. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. That definitely makes more sense. That's why I was having difficulty working that one out. All right. Here's our next quote. Without hard work, nothing grows but weeds. And that was said by Gordon Hinckley. How many of you know that success isn't an easy thing? So many people I've spoken to, when they hear that I do YouTube or whatever, and they all think it's like a get rich quick scheme. Basically you just have to get on there and you'll be worth millions. So my reality when I speak to them is I say, yes, I guess some people have done that. But the majority, it's a bit like being an actor, right? Not every actor is going to earn multi-millions. They will work forever. And by the way, I do want to, for those of you who might want to see it, I do want to give you a Netflix promo here. I watched a movie last night called The Music of Silence. I had to think about that. Oops. Silence. Uh, and it's about Andrea Bocelli, the opera singer. How many of you know of him? The guy that's blind and gorgeous. No, sorry. He's not only talented but gorgeous. In fact, phenomenally talented and gorgeous. But it's really is an incredible autobiography. He actually wrote the book, and then he helped them write the movie. But it's a wonderful story, and when you watch that, you will understand how he struggled to become an overnight success. How many years did he struggle to become an overnight success? And how many people told him he couldn't sing and never would, and all the other things. And you go, but every now and then he kept going back to it. And then one day, he got a break that he'd been waiting for years. And, how that changed his life. And I want to tell you, if you have a dry eye at the end of it, I'll be pretty surprised. So I don't often recommend movies, but if you happen to like the man and his music, you will enjoy the story, because it is a wonderful story about what it takes to be successful and what it takes for everybody connected to somebody trying to be successful. I think that's the other thing that came up very strongly. His family, his girlfriend, everybody paid a price for the fact that he wasn't making it when he wanted to, but then everybody just sat in awe when he did make it. And the most incredible thing was that it reminded me, some of you will have seen the link I put up earlier about the lady who I think has cerebral palsy, that is an opera singer. And if you saw that link, you would see that, all you really need in life is one person to believe that you can do it. If you've got one person that believes that you can achieve your goal, you have a pretty good chance of doing it. It doesn't take the world. You just need one person who's not going to let go. And as some of you know, I try to be that one person for quite a few people. And I did get the chance this weekend, just so that you know, to yesterday, I got the chance to go down into the States and hear somebody give a speech about their success. And they had asked that I be there because they wanted to personally thank me. And so, to me, I didn't go down because of my ego. I went down because it was important to that person, and it was a great honor to me. I thought that she wanted to thank me. But more than that, I wanted to make sure that she understood that she is going to be an inspiration to so many people by the work that she now does. Do you understand? It's like that this hasn't finished. Just because you got the success doesn't mean it's finished. Now you're going to be doing the same for everybody around you. You're going to be inspiring them to do incredible things. And I think that's the whole thing, and I talk to Erin and Jody and the rest of you that all struggle with your own things. Whether you like it or not, you inspire others. And I know it sounds incredulous because you're going, I'm really a rat bag most of the time, so I don't see how I inspire anybody. But truth is, you just do. And you need to be aware of that. So if you're listening to this on the replay, please visit our website, which is DearMamaSal.com. And if you have found this valuable and would like to contribute toward the cost of running it, just please, if you will, just click on the donation button. There is one there. And what it does is it has a little slider thing, I think, that, actually on the donation button, I think you can just type in what you want. But it's just like, if that is what you would like to do, that would be great. By the way, if you don't have any money to donate, I just do need to tell you that if you go to any of the links that are for any of the products or things that we have links to in the notes below, and you go into Amazon via one of those links, and then go and do whatever you want to do in Amazon, that also helps support me in a very small way, but it does help support me. So I would be most appreciative. All right, let us move on here. And this is a lovely quote, I thought. I thought some of you'd really appreciate this. Hard work for what you want, or rather, work hard for what you want, because it won't come to you without a fight. You have to be strong and courageous and know that you can do anything you put your mind to. If somebody puts you down or criticizes you, just keep on believing in yourself and turn it into something positive. And that was said by Leah LaBelle. I know a lot of you understand that sometimes you have to lose friends to reach your goal. Sometimes you have to really mess with your relationships to reach your goal. Sometimes all sorts of things don't all go the right way when you are chasing a goal. And so, well, thank you, Liz. I actually do try and find quotes that I think you guys will relate to. Over the years, when I've tried achieving goals, I've been surprised how few people actually genuinely support me in them. And so it is really hot in here today. And so one of the things that I wanted to let you know is that if those of you who come to this particular broadcast, the Taking Steps broadcast, it is really important if you're trying to achieve something. For example, we just heard what Liz is doing, and automatically I would offer Liz, a chance to promote her stuff. And I'm pretty sure that for those of you who know Lizzie, and even if you don't, you might want to share it with your friends, because why wouldn't we do that? All right. This is just that, oh, look at that. Somebody I know just started this business. And if you'd like to support them, this is the link. The worst thing that could happen, Liz, is we could create business for you that you can't cope with, but I'm sure you'd like that problem. It's called Bring Me That Problem. I'll fix that one. Yeah, Kerry, that's so true, right? Kerry's saying, I've lost many people who claimed they cared while finding myself. And I realized how peaceful my life has become. Yeah, because she lost them. Yeah, Lizzie. And Lizzie, just because we do care and we know you fairly well, how's the love life? I got to ask, And how is the job? Because, you don't pop in very often, so we'd like to catch up. Yes, Kerry, I think you're right. That the people who don't support you in whatever goal you're going for are the people that, that maybe you do need to just separate from during that time. Maybe they'll come back in your life sometime. Maybe they won't. I am actually amazed how many people are genuinely supporting me in what I'm doing and how slowly I am doing the downsizing and reallocating and relocation, rather. That is very interesting to me. A lot of people think that I should have downsized in a week or a month and gone. And I just knew that wasn't what I was going to be able to do, because psychologically it would be too big a shift. And now, especially as I'm very seriously thinking of moving into tiny house type size rather than even an apartment or something. And the thing that is important is that I really need to know what it is I need to survive. Well, Lizzie, I am delighted to hear that. That would be something that is not much more than, actually, it's about 400 square feet plus a bit if you happen to have a lean-to on the end of it. Because what I've been doing, and I know some of you know this, what I've been doing is really asking myself, what rooms in the house do I use? Which ones are actually the rooms that, I have that I very rarely use? I don't live, the only reason I use my dining room, two reasons I use my dining room. One is to broadcast. As you know, this is my dining room, and I broadcast from here. The second is I use it if I'm doing a big craft project because I have a huge 6-foot glass table that you can basically drop almost anything on and it'll come off. You can drop paint on it or glue on it or whatever, and it's easy to get it off. I also realize that I hardly ever use my living room these days. So that isn't a huge need. So the rooms I really use are my bedroom, my kitchen, and my art studio. The rest of it is not that important. So I'm actually very seriously considering buying a dirty great fifth wheel, one of the big ones, the big luxury ones, and living simply within that, lowering my carbon footprint, lowering everything, and just learning to live with less. How many of you can see that? Now, obviously, I'm going to have enough room. I need to have enough room to throw paint around. We know that. And if I have to, either build an area to do that or whatever, I will. Yeah, I think, Kerry, it's a very, I think it's a very good idea for us all to look at, which is, do I have the right people surrounding me to support what it is I want to do? Not what they want me to do, but what I want to do. I know it sounds strange, Jody, but I get a real sense about that's not a bad place for me to be because, yeah, a she shed, it's called, Liz, not a man cave, a she shed. Hi, Dan. So, but I'm trying to keep really open. I saw one that I really liked, and I very nearly bought it and on the spot. But I decided to just hold back. And what I did is I held back to see what else was available. And I know where I want to live now. I found the right place to live because the land underneath it, they cannot sell for development. Yay, at last. I kept saying that. I've got to find a piece of land where they cannot sell it from underneath me for development. And I found that piece of land. It's an RV park where they're not allowed to develop unless they change all the zoning underneath it. It's actually zoned to be a tourist place. Where in Hazelmere, Nana. So, but it's got so much there as well. It's got little golf course, mini golf course. It's got a pool. It's got all the other sort of things you would have. So I just think it would be an interesting thing for me, just in terms of I would have a constant changing people around me to some degree. Some would be very constant, but I think I'd always be meeting new people, and that meeting people is very important in my life. And so that is a goal of mine, right? I need to be within a community. I need to be within a community where not everybody has to like me, but some people actually appreciate me would be really nice. And so what I'm encouraging you to do is to say, I don't know if I will go stir crazy, right? So the only way I can find that out is to do it. How many of you understand what I'm saying? So what I will do, if it makes any sense, and this is I've been planning this out for a long time, is I will downsize and put enough of my stuff away in storage for a year to find out if I go stir crazy of 1 year living in 400 square feet. Or does the opposite happen, which I really realize I can quite happily live within 400 square feet. Now, some of you know I've also got a 26-foot trailer that, and what I will do is I will take that with me and use it as a 26-foot storage locker. How many of you going, good thinking, Sal? And the reason for that is I found out that this place only charges about $50 a month for trailers. And I'm going, that works. I've got a 10 by 10 locker here in where I live. It costs about $250 a month. So I could store a lot of my extra stuff in my trailer. Not necessarily, I wouldn't put my bed and stuff in it. I'd probably put that into proper storage. So anyway, that is what I'm doing. So the point that we're making here is, do people know what goals you're going for? And are you getting the support? So is there anybody that's listening to all of this going, I've got a goal and I could do with a couple of people helping me get there? And I've got a really cute quote here, and it says, goals are funny things. They don't work unless you do. How many of you go, so true? So anybody got a goal that they would like some support on? Because what I'd like to do is, really just talk this through with a couple of people. Your first home was 930 square feet. 930, yes, and you live there with your husband and twin girls. Yeah. So, that is a really important thing to know, that you could do that. And I'd like to suggest that a generation ago, 930 square feet was all that any family had, unless you were a multimillionaire. You had an art teacher visit you? Hang on a second, but you tell me I'm a child? Wow. Is that what you heard? No, what I said was using your hand when it hurts. That was the childish behavior. It wasn't that you're a child. I don't think you're a child at all. But what I'm saying is, why would you run the risk of damaging? There's a reason why your hand hurts. There's something not right there. Does it make sense, Nana? There's a difference. So what I'm saying is, be careful, because you could have some sort of injury there. That the hand, I learned this the hard way, Nana. I want to tell you, I learned it the hard way. I remember something happened on my hand, and my doctor sent me to a specialist. And I'm going, why? He said, because you need an injection in your hand. And I said, so do it. And he said, no, I can't do it. The hand is the most difficult place to do anything with, because so much of it is interconnected and so many small bones can be broken easily without anybody knowing it. And therefore, no doctor, I didn't know that. I don't know if any of you knew that, but in Canada, anyway, no doctor is allowed to inject into the hand, into the what do you call it? The joints of the hand. I can have blood drawn from it, but so forth. So Nana, I'm sorry you heard it that way, and I apologize if it came across that I thought you were childish. That isn't quite what I meant. I was really trying to make a point that be very careful if your hand hurts, that you don't overuse it. It's like somebody who's got migraine and they, go out in bright sunshine and expose themselves to all sorts of light. That's going to hurt. So that's what I call the childish behavior, which is, why would you do something that is going to possibly cause you even more pain? So, but I can understand how you heard it. And I hope you can understand I didn't mean that to be that you're a child. I don't think you're a child. Your behavior just worried me that it was going to end up doing more damage. So take it any way you want to. That was where I was at on that one. And the whole thing about what we do with our goals, all right? I would far rather, for example, that Nana gets to paint for the rest of her life than she does some damage in this week because she needs to keep that rested, and never gets to paint again. I don't know if any of you relate to what I'm trying to get at. But I didn't realize how sensitive the hands were until this doctor explained it to me. And I assure you, I really heard that. Apparently, the feet are pretty sensitive as well, in terms of you can do damage very easily by doing it the wrong way. I didn't know that either. All right, let's move on to our next quote. And I like this one, which is, "Dare mighty things, even though checkered with failure, rather than to rank with those gray souls that know neither victory or defeat." How many of you know that it is the journey of achieving a goal that actually is the reward? It's not the goal. Have any of you ever done that, where you set yourself a goal and you struggled and you struggled and you struggled, and eventually you got there and you went, yeah, now what? Oh, I better set another goal. Have any of you done that? Because it's the journey that is the experience. It's not the achieving of the goal. And I believe that the journey also is the learning. You know, you are going to face, I am a great believer that, for example, all the challenges I'm facing with the downsizing and finding the right place to live are all things I need to face in my life, all right? I need to face having patience. I need to face having the trust that God will show me the right place for me to live. I need to trust that I can do this and be happy. And, you know, so if you don't have those base things going for you. So Beth's saying that her goals are constantly changing because with every change she makes, my previous goals seem childish. By the way, Beth, I don't know if you saw today's broadcast, because I know you said you were trying to, but I was talking there at one point about something that you had experienced, and I just wanted to tell you that I did use your example of a little criticism you received about taking the job that you did. Because, you know, it was relevant to what we were doing. So I thought, you know, you'd like to know that you're in there. So, right. And that's so true, Jody, right? We learn and change so much in the journey towards the goal. How much have I had to learn, for example, to just let some things go? They're not as important to me as I thought. And maybe they were at one time in my life, but really, quite honestly, they're not necessarily the last things I want to have around me. You know, if I've got to, if I do this thing that I'm thinking of doing, I will need to downsize another half of what I've got. That basically is what it will take. All right, now, how do you like this one? Don't know who said it. Many people have a good aim in life, but for some reason, they never pull the trigger. How many of you have had the vision of what you want to do, but never really started it? And how many of you have that thing in your mind right now? I'd really like to do X, Y, and Z, but yeah, I could fail, you know, or it could go wrong, or might cost money, or yeah, whatever it is. I'm certain you've got 1,001 good excuses why you haven't done it. Does anybody relate to that? So, you know, I look at it this way, that if you haven't got a goal that you're trying for in your life, then the chances are that you are not moving forward in your life. What you're doing is stagnating. I wonder if that rings true with any of you. Okay, so let me see here. Beth says, my vision was to feel valued outside of my home life, and that I can be of value to myself and others beside my family life. Yes, you know, Beth, there are an awful lot of mothers that feel that way. They prove that they are great mothers and great nurturers and great all those skills that are needed for motherhood. But the question is, do I have any validity in the outside world? That is a really great example. Thank you, Beth. And Jody's saying, I have goals that are on the back burner because my physical abilities drastically changed. Yes, you had goals that you were going for. And because of what's happened to you physically, and I would think mentally as well, Jody, they've had to take a bit of a back burner. Is there anything that you know that you probably still could do if you just got your mind in the right place? Because part of me goes, I haven't heard you talk about anything creative for quite a while, Jody. And I know you have this creative side. Hi, Nada. I Beth, Nada, like you, likes to multitask, right? Let me do something here. I'll feel better about it. Yeah. God forbid that you should allow yourself the luxury of sitting and listening. But Nada, I love it. I love it that you're listening anyway. Yep. And you know why I relate to that. You'll be amazed how many times I multitask. So I totally relate to you guys that do that. All right, so here's another quote. Let's see if it triggers anybody to sort of talk about stuff. Goals are like automobiles. They won't run by themselves except downhill. So what do you need in an automobile? You need an engine of some sort, whether it's leg power or whatever. You need something to have enough power to get you up the uphills. The downhills, any idiot can do. It's the uphills that are a problem. All right, now then, I'm going to read what Jody said, which is, yes, my creativity is suffering, and I would feel more accomplished if I decided to dedicate more time to it. Well, what's stopping you right now? The only thing that can really be stopping you, Jody, is your excuses. Because it's not about whether you do something perfectly well and pretty. It's about I need to do something creative because it's good for my brain. It slows my brain down. All right. And it's very difficult. You self-sabotage. Oh gosh. Nada, I love your honesty. How many of you relate? So Nada's not sitting out there on an island on her own. I certainly relate to that. How do you do it, Nada? Talk to us about how do you self-sabotage? It's lack of organization and scheduling time, Jody's saying. No, no, you know something, Jody? I'm not going to buy that because I know you. I know that you actually make time for a lot of things, including me. And so therefore, it's not that because you are very organized and you are very good at scheduling time. Therefore, that's not the reason. I'm not buying that. Try again. See if you can convince me. What comes up when I tell you I'm not buying that one? Yeah, Nada, I'm really interested that you self-sabotage. How many of you quit because you might fail? Okay, so here's Beth saying, when I used to not eat, I would keep myself busy with everyone else's stuff. So I didn't have time to eat. That was my excuse. Yeah, I totally get that, Beth, which is why I slowed you down a bit. Okay, so here we go. Nada says, I block myself from love and the happiness, etc. That's how I block sabotage. That's why I'm here working on it through and in therapy now. Okay, now Nada, is Liz still here? I can't see if she's still in the room, but Lizzie, are you still here? Unfortunately not. Okay, so do me a favor, Nada, if you would like some help with that, Lizzie, who just left the room, is an expert in what you're talking of which you speak. That's better English. She is an expert at it. And, I think you two would get on really well. So if you would like me to put you in touch with her, she's very creative, but she also is great at self-sabotaging. And so I think you two could help each other quite a bit if you're interested. If so, write to me at DearMamaSal@gmail.com, and I will write to her and let her know that you're interested, and then she can contact you if she wants to, all right? All right, so Jody, listen to this one. She's so good, Jody. She's got all the answers, right? I've been putting off reorganizing my crafting tools. Oh, and before that, she said, my supplies are unorganized. Okay, now, Jody, listen up here. Just about every artist I know, including myself, has a total dog's breakfast. But when they want to paint, they manage to find the right things, even if they're not in the right place. So I'm not buying that one either. No, you didn't convince me yet. Keep trying, though. How many of you are relating to what's happening here with Jody? Can you hear how many excuses? How many excuses Jody has? I'm just, waiting for the truth. You see, Jody, I don't think that you think you deserve the time to be able to do that at some level. It's more important that you do this and organize this and do that instead of just, I am going to stop and I don't care what it looks like. I'm going to spend 2 hours just creating. And I can make mud pies if I want to, and I can paint if I want to, and I can do whatever as long as it's creative. And, I've got 1,001 excuses. I've got to play with the fluff ball, and I've got to look after Lionel, and, I've got to do my fair share, do what best I can, or, my legs hurt a bit today. How many more things do you want me to come up with? We could create quite the list for you, Jody. Here's the challenge. Jody, we challenge you to come back Friday evening and tell us what you did that was creative, how long you dedicated to it, how much time you made sure you had to do it, and how you felt after you'd done it. All right? Because, well, here's the joke, Jody. Guess who else hasn't been in her art studio for quite over a week? So it is my goal, after this week, the weekends are taken up with downsizing and the broadcast. But next week, I intend to spend at least one afternoon in the art studio. What I will do is my excuse will be that I'm going in there to tidy up, but I know what happens when I go in there to tidy up. Yes, Erin. Thank you. So Erin's saying, Jody, don't feel guilty for wanting to do something for yourself once in your life. So Erin, you can relate to what Jody's doing. I know that. So Erin, what is it you want to do that we can support you with? And I've got to be quite honest, Erin, when I put up that clip on the Facebook page with that opera singer, I literally was thinking, I can see Erin doing something remarkable like this. Something that people just don't realize she has the talent for, and yet she has. They just see that she's got a body that isn't working for her. That's what the situation was with this woman. But she, was an incredible opera singer. So, Erin, what is it you'd like to get done? Is it something creative? Is it something that you've been procrastinating about, maybe? Think about that. All right, let's try another quote and see who gets triggered by that one. The secret of success, this is so true. The secret of success is the constancy to purpose. In other words, you've got to know that you are going to constantly stay on track with your purpose. Jody, we all know how much joy you get out of being creative. We've been around you for quite a while. And not only that, it brings out the kid in you. So it will lighten you up. All right. You've been, and if I say, all right, you'll laugh because you'll understand that this is not my intent. But I was going to say, you've been a bit heavy. All right. You're taking life very, very seriously. And I know you've got good reason to. But I think you deserve a little bit of child to come out. And, this is where you use the child in this way. But, that the child can come out and play a bit. And it's okay. Because I think it's really important. And so I would beg you all to think about, what have you been procrastinating about that actually is good for your soul? I know you would, Jody. And who's stopping you? I would love for you to even come in next week and say, guys, you're not going to believe this, but I spent 2 hours with a bubble machine blowing bubbles, for the, little fluff ball to chase. But, it's not a couple of seconds. This is what I did. Yes, Jody, you are stopping you. And by the way, Jody, we're all stopping ourselves, right, from various things. So we thank you for being the guinea pig. So to achieve happiness, we should make certain that we are never without an important goal. So let's hear it. What's your important goal this year? Anybody? Yes, Beth, there's a lovely quote. I can remember going to a workshop once, Beth, and if you haven't heard me talk about this, you might like this one. And the guy that was giving the seminar, he said, I have to know who it is in your life that you really, really want to see in concert. So, Beth, who would you really, really like to see in concert? If you got the chance to have tickets to go and see, who would be? Would it be the Beatles? Would it be Mariah Carey? Would it be, the Backstreet Boys? I don't know. Dolly Parton, whatever it is. Who is it that you would literally, the world would stop if you had tickets to go see this show? And I'd like you all to think about who that person is, including Jody. Yes, Jody's saying their main goal is to keep taking steps forward to getting the car. Yep. Okay, so you would love to see him, Nana. That is interesting. Yeah. So if you had tickets to go and see him, yeah. Do you think that you would make a point of going there? All right. So Beth's saying for The Walking Dead Comic-Con. All right, so that's awesome. So if you had tickets to the Comic-Con and for the Walking Dead Comic-Con, life would, as you know, it would stop because you were going. You've got tickets. Am I right, Beth? Hello, I got him. All right, Jody, Duran. That would stop her world pretty good. All right. Hello. Sorry, everybody. I know you want me to do this, that, and the other for you, but I got tickets. Are you all getting the idea? You are holding these tickets and you are going to use them because this is your one chance to do that. And what this guy said that I want you all to feel at a soul level is he said, the problem in life is we rarely have tickets for ourselves. We do not consider ourselves important enough to stop the world so you can get off and go and be creative, or stop the world because I would like to just sit and meditate. And yet what makes me laugh about Jody, and Jody, here comes the 2x4, honey. What I love about Jody, if Jody hears I've got a stress headache or anything going on, the first thing she says to me is, Sal, give yourself time to relax. Don't you, Jody? Yep. So don't you think this is a bit of a double standard that you say to me what you're not prepared to do for yourself? So if you're not chuckling now, I'm surprised because it's just like, duh. And I know you've got a bit of a headache. Hi, Jamie. I know you've got a bit of a headache, and so do I. And I know that there are lots of other things, but I am going to just challenge you to say, have you got enough discipline to look after yourself for a couple of hours this week? Now, how many of you have got exercise? Seeing as I see Jamie here, how many of you have got, I really should do some exercise or something about my health? Beth, 10 out of 10 for realizing your weight was dropping, time to put a bit of time back into there. By the way, Beth, if you really want to multitask well on counting calories and things, keep something in your washroom where you can, update your stuff or something. It's not a waste of time then. Not hygienic necessarily, but you can multitask there. All right. Now here's the other thing that I've decided that yes, Nada, my weight and health needs a bit of work. Actually, the interesting thing is that I have managed to come off heart medication. So I have done a good job of eating better. Do you guys all get that? Because I was on heart medication and I managed to do such a good job that my blood pressure was too low. And so they took me off my heart medication. Yay. That was over a year ago. And the nice thing is that my doctor said to me, I can't believe that we took you off the medication and for over a year, your blood pressure has stayed almost completely at 130/80. And I said, yeah, that's when I'm stressed because I'm seeing you. Yeah, he stresses me out. So the point I'm saying is, however, I was just, how many of you remember, I was 5 pounds away from the goal weight I wanted to achieve just before Christmas. How many of you remember that time? I was so excited. I had lost all this weight and I just had 5 more to go. Hi, Kez. Everything to do with being healthy is on your to-do list. First of all, Kez, welcome. Big hugs. I don't think I recognize the name. Have you been here before? And if not, give us, Kez is an unusual name, so male, female, roughly where you live in the world so we can understand. And welcome. Everybody will want to let you know where they're from and roughly what age group they are, decade. I'm in my 20s, 30s, whatever. And just so that you can get an idea. And welcome. Thank you for coming out and saying that. How many of you relate to this? Everything to do with being healthy is on my to-do list. Jamie, I want to tell you that I really do have the answer to that heat. Female in Brisbane, Australia. We love the Aussies. We've got a number of great Aussie viewers. that come in every now and then, and we always get a great chuckle. I hate to do profiling, but on the whole, I find that people from Oz say it like it is, and if you don't like it, move right along. And Kiz, do you know me through something else, or did you just happen to find us today? I'm pretty sure you know that I am actually I'm about to be 72, no 71 next month, and I'm in southern British Columbia. It's 104 degrees at 9 o'clock at night. Yes, it's well over 80 degrees in my house at the moment. So here is the thing. I keep telling people this. If you are suffering from this heat wave, go into your bathroom, take a long scarf, one of those ones you wrap around your neck, probably cotton, preferably cotton, in fact, if you've got one, or linen or something that is like that. And just dunk it in water, wring it out, and then go and lie on your bed and put this scarf over you. If you've got one that's the length of your body, it works like a charm. And just literally, wrap your arms like this, pull it up over and across yourself. You will be amazed at the temperature difference. The other thing is, if you're really, really hot, go and take a shower first and consistently just keep bringing the temperature of the shower down, because it will cool your whole body as you do that, and then do the thing with the scarf. And Jody will tell you, it does work. I used to do it all the time, and I do it here. I don't have air conditioning in my house. And when I get overly hot, and today probably is one of those days, tonight when I go to bed, I will actually take something wet. The other thing is, if you're sitting around and trying to work, think about the cowboys. How many of you can remember that the cowboys nearly always had a bandana around their neck? Do you know why? Because they would wet it and tie it, and loop it, and then tie it around their neck. And that water evaporating cooled the blood going to their heads. A cotton oblong scarf is the ideal thing. It works like magic. That's what I've got as well. I've got a very long one. I don't know about how long yours is, Jody, but mine is, I would say a good 3 feet long, at least. So it really does work. So Kiz, thank you for being a subscriber. We appreciate it. But more than that, thank you for coming in. And what made you actually come in and talk, Kiz? Because that's the exciting thing for me always. Yeah, I've heard you say that before, that you put a frozen water bottle, and down into your pants at the back. But I would think that's because a lot of the time you're bending over, right? And that's the bit that's getting the heat, is your back. Because you're cleaning, you're bending over, and you're dusting, and then you're bending over. So, but it's clever. And I would also try, having a bandana around your neck that you can keep dipping in water. You'll be surprised how that works. So just give that a bit of thought. It's a pleasure, Jody. So when you look at your goals, let me ask you a question then. How many of you have spent any time on your goals in the last week? Anybody? I know I have. As you know, I've been out and about. Let me think what I did. I went and looked at one place this week. I had a very long conversation with my realtor on a field trip that I did. I have done a lot of research. I found out, what the land usage zoning is for where I'm thinking of going. Yeah, Beth, and it's funny, you used that trick at Walt Disney World when it was 115 degrees, right? Yes, well done, Nana. So you've been working on your goals, and it's like, I did very little about actually packing, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't working on my goals. Does that make sense to people? I have to be clear in my head that going excuse me, going and looking at properties, going and seeing what's out there is a very important part of what I'm doing. I have to see what it is I need, because until get what I want, I probably am not going to finish downsizing, because I'm probably so close if I really put my foot on the accelerator. But I don't want to get there and not know where I'm going. I want to know where I'm going. By the way, I've also set up a meeting with the bank. I have a meeting with the bank next week. I had to move it because I double booked this other thing. So you know what I'm saying? I've got a lot of steps that I've taken this week, but I didn't get into the art studio. And that is a lack of discipline on my part. All right, so Kez, if you've got a lot of goals you'd actually like to get done, any one you care to share with us so we can sort of work with you? So let me just try and get some of these in. What did we have? We had, hang on, I want to make sure we don't lose these, because otherwise people have a habit of just not doing anything. So let's make sure we don't let that happen. Okay, so we're going to have that like that. All right, so here we've got Jody is going to be creative and tell us about it next week. Okay, who else? Beth, what did you commit to? Oh yes, I know what Beth's doing. She's going back to counting calories. Am I right there? Okay, so Kez from Oz is saving money to travel within Australia. Where do you want to go, Kez? Beth, you know how good you are about your meal prep, honey. I was thinking that you might want to just get yourself a couple of, dollar store bottles, and every other day make up about 3 or 4 of them, so that whenever you know you should be taking more calories, and you can just grab one. And I make my own meal replacement stuff, Beth. I put in about 4. I grind oats up until it's like a flour, and I put about 4 teaspoons of that in, and then I put some whey powder in because that's protein, and then I put in some skim milk powder and water, and then I shake it all up. And the point that I'm saying is you may want to do that. Or, for example, have some overnight oats in the fridge that you can. Oh, it actually is really great. And I know that you're good with overnight oats as well. So have a couple of them so you can actually literally blend one of them with some milk powder or skim milk or something, and turn it into a meal. And because you know that's extra calories. And I've noticed that you like to drink a lot, right? You are really good about hydration. So what I'm saying is, think about what you can drink that will add to your hydration, and maybe do a little bit of research as to what is the best thing for you to be having. By the way, be a little bit careful of protein powders, because they can really mess with your, is it your liver or your kidneys? I think it's your kidneys. So I try not to have that every day. I have that sort of every other day. Okay, so Kez wants to go to Western Australia. How much will it cost you? I just want to see how far you've done your research. So you're going to go to Perth, or where in Western Australia would you like to go? You can do this, kids. um, I'm not sure if my feed has frozen or whether I managed to ask a question that is not answerable at this time. If you don't know where you're going, you may miss it when you get there. How many of you know that one? It's like, if you haven't got a plan as to where you're going, you understand that's why I know I've got to find the place I want to go to. Um, at least have a really good idea. You want to go to the outback areas. Okay, excellent. And you have no idea how much that's going to cost you to get there or how you're going to get there? Because those would be the questions I would have ready, because, the who, what, why, where, when, and how. Who is going with me, if anybody is? What is it we're going to do when we get there, and start planning that out? Who, what, why am I going? Just to have fun. Who, what, why, where? Where am I going to the outback? You know that. And when? And then how? In other words, am I going to fly out to Perth, or am I thinking of hitchhiking, or whatever it is? It's a long way to hitchhike. But, so start sort of asking those questions of yourself. And we did a bit of a mind map. I don't have it here, but so, start asking the who, what, why, where, when, and how of everything, so that you say, okay, fine, I've got to get a ticket. Who do I need to contact to get the ticket? What is it I need to get? What sort of ticket do I need to get? Why do I need a ticket? Why? Where do I have to go to pick up the ticket? When will I start saving for it? And da 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 da. So in each area, ask yourself that who, why, where, when, and how, and you'll be amazed how quickly you get that planned out in a way that you can start taking one step at a time. Does that make sense, Kev? Because what happens to us most of the time, it's so much to plan that, like, where would I start? Yeah, I know it does work, actually. And do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to downsize and move somewhere, but even though I am not necessarily packing, I'm out there trying to find out the place I want to move to. And then I will say to the bank, okay, fine, I found a place I want to move to, but I want to get it now. And then, pay you back when I want to get it now, so I can start moving the stuff that's important to me there. And then that means I can clean up my house and then put it on the market and be gone. And, my realtor can show it all the time without having to worry about giving me warning, because I'm not going to be there. That would work really well for me. I'd already be on to my next life. But what I plan to do, as a lot of you know, is I plan to put enough money and stick it away carefully, so that if after a year I am going stir crazy, that I still have the money there, that I can go and get an apartment or a houseboat or whatever. This is the grand experiment. How many of you can see that there is no failure in that? It's like, I need to find out. The only way I'm going to find out whether I can do it is to try it. And I'm used to a lot of space, and I'm used to a lot of quiet. And I've got a feeling it won't be very quiet if I do it. But maybe it will suit me a lot. Can you think how many people I can probably help? And, a natural market for my artwork. So you look at it and you go, there are all sorts of reasons why it might just work really well. All right. So, yes, Nada. And that's the whole thing that I want you all to understand. If the reason you are not doing whatever your goal is because you might fail, there is no fail. Somewhere along the line of trying to reach that goal, you're going to learn things you need to learn. And, even if it is, I really don't want the skull the way that I thought I did. That's pretty obvious to me. And so it's, well, yeah, Jody, I think you know me fairly well. I'm inclined to go pretty deep into these things. I was quite amazed when I was talking to my realtor. She came up, I can't remember what it was she came up with. And she looked at me and smiled and said, "Sorry, I forgot I was talking to you. What's your plan B and C and possibly D on that issue?" And I just laughed and I said, "Funny you should ask me that, because my plan B is that I would do this, 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 and this. And then if that doesn't work, then plan C would be I take the money and do this, 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 and this." And then, it's just like I'd already thought it out. Okay, how big a bedroom do I need, Nana? Let's see what you think. How big a bedroom do you think is enough? How big a living room do I need when I don't use a living room? The place where I need a bit of space is to do art and the kitchen. Yes, but I mean, if you really had to, could you manage with with a kitchen half the size of yours? I'm not saying that you should, because for you that is, you did for years, exactly. And could you live with half the square footage that you've got now, if you wanted to? What I'm doing actually, Nana, I don't know if this makes sense to anybody else. I want to make a lifestyle change. I want to stop having a beautiful home that's there to impress people. I want to, because I don't want to do that anymore. I've done it all my life. I don't want to spend my time mowing lawns, worrying about the guilt of not doing the garden, or doing all that sort of upkeep stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be dusting a big house. I don't want to be doing all of that. I want to actually spend my time, maybe making new friends, trying new experiences, maybe go cruising, to be able to walk out of the door, lock it, and go, "Okay, everybody, I'll be back in 6 months." And by the way, in the meantime, would you mind just watering I need about 3 of you to help me just water the plants if we have a heat wave, Um, that is really what I would love to do. I would love to have the money available so I could do it. And the price I would pay for that is to downsize my carbon footprint and take my trailer with me so I can pack my stuff into the trailer over and above whatever else I might have. And I just don't think that I could, I don't think that I could say I wouldn't be happy if I didn't try it. Whether it's a houseboat, which would be bigger, probably twice as big, a houseboat or a dirty great fifth wheel. But I've spent some time talking to people that live in these dirty great fifth wheels, and I don't know if you know, but the last one I saw had a dishwasher, it had a top of the line washer dryer. It's not like you're going to be, cleaning your laundry on the rocks at the local brook or anything. It's like it's called glamping. Yes, Kez, that's funny you should say that. There is one tiny home builder that I think lives in Alaska that does incredible work on multi-purposing furniture and stuff. And I love to watch. She's like the Swiss Army knife of s- small homes builders. And you're going, that looks like it's a drawer. When she pulls it out, it's a bed. You go, that's clever. During the day, that bed goes under the kitchen. It just slides under the kitchen. So you don't need that space except when you go to bed. Now, I'd have a problem with a bed that low, you understand, Kez? So I'm going to have a lot that I need to learn. But, when I look at everything and I go, seriously, how much stuff do I really need now at this stage of my life? And I don't think it's necessarily that much. Yeah. Now, the other thing that always amazes me that I don't see them doing, how many of you have seen all my cubies that I've got? Everywhere in my house, I've got cubies. The And most of them are black, and in the kitchen some are black and some are red. In my bedroom, some are black, some are beige. In my spare room, they're all blue. I think in my spare room, they're all blue. So what amazes me is that those tiny house people have not done what I would do, which is I would have a complete area above head height where it's just a shelf going right the way around the place, and it's literally end-to-end cubies. And, a small, easy ladder that you could just take anywhere and, fold it up, put it on the wall or something. But you could just get there and just get the stuff that you don't use every day, but you definitely would like to have occasionally. And the stuff that really you only use once a year would be sitting in the trailer. So the point that I was trying to make earlier, and with Jody and some of you as well, which is where did you buy them, Jody? You do know that I don't pay more than $4 for mine, don't you? Sorry, I just got to, to me, it's like really important that I don't pay a lot of money for them. Oh, good. Are they? Oh, I was in Target. Do they have them in Target at a good price? Yeah, I may need to do another field trip. But, this is like, it's not how much space you have as much as how you use the space creatively. I think that's the difference. Now, let me ask you something. How many of you have got on your kitchen counter or in your drawer all your, let me think, wooden spoons, spatulas, and those sort of things? How many of you have got a container that contains all those? Or two containers, maybe. Because what I wanted to ask you is, if you want to know what downsizing is about, just look at that group this week. Have a look at that group of things and say, Sal's got to downsize everything by 2/3. So if I could only keep 1/3 of the spatulas, wooden spoons, and other gizmos that I have here, which third would I keep? All right? And you'll be amazed. You go, I use that every week. So that one's, every day. That one definitely staying. That one I use at least once a week. So that's staying, and you're going, well, that's pretty nice. I like that one. Yes. But the truth is I only use it about once every 6 months. I don't use it a lot. Don't even know why it's still there, which is called get rid of it. And then what you do is you do that. And then a month later, you go back and do the same thing again. That's what I find really interesting. I'm going back to some things that I've been through maybe once before. And now I literally put it all in front of me and say, okay, Sal, now try and get rid of the other half of this. And you'll be amazed how much you go, I thought I used that more than I do. So that can go. Now, you all know, because, this is life, that the day you throw it away is the day you're going to want it, right? You all know that. But you'll make a plan. I, for example, when I was doing the big clean out of the garage, I threw away a dishwasher, and guess what happened? The very next month, Yvonne's dishwasher went on the blink. But those things happen. Now then, how many of you are feeling a little energized to do something about your goals this week? Well, when you say your husband's stuff, what stuff are you talking about, Beth? Are we talking about his clothes, his tools? What is it that you're discussing here? Good, Jody and Kerry, I'm pleased. By the way, I've got health goals that I'm working on this week. What I found out, and I don't know if any of you know this, but walking 250 steps an hour actually is really a good thing to work at. Now, if you're not capable of walking, and I understand that, then try doing I would say do 50 of these um, every now and then because it brings up your heart rate. Some of you have done this with me before. It's amazing how many muscles and how much energy it uses just to do an arm roll like this. And then, if you get bored, just do it the other way. And if you just do that, if you're watching television, while the commercials are on or something, you'll be surprised. It brings your heart rate. My heart rate normally is about 60 beats a minute. And I just did that and it went up to 82, which means it's burning stuff, burning calories. And Kerry, I have incredible news. By getting my new I'm a Slob watch, right? I now have negative calories to report to you. Not as many as you do, but I just wanted to let you know. I was so excited. I went, yay! I did negative calories. Does anybody not know what negative calories are? If so, it isn't that you're stupid. You just haven't been through the stuff that Kerry and I have. What it basically means is if I eat 1,500 calories, but I do exercise for 1,600 calories, that is negative 100 calories. In other words, I burnt 100 calories more than I took in. Make sense? That's negative calories. Now, I have to admit that Kerry is the queen of negative calories. In fact, the only thing that confuses me about Kerry is why she hasn't blown away in the wind, because she does so many negative calories in a day. It is amazing. Yeah, Beth, I think you just said the truest words you can. I never sit down. I'm always going. So while some of us need to get off our rather large behinds and start moving, your challenge is totally the opposite. Your challenge is, let me get some headphones on and put on some meditative music of some sort, and just see if I can sit for 15 minutes. And you have no idea how much discipline that will take for you to do nothing except just free up your mind. It would be like a cat nap. Do you have a cat nap during the day? So you understand, Beth, that I totally relate to your challenge because I keep looking at your stuff and going, gosh, the interesting thing is that Beth has exactly the same problem that I have, but hers is going in the opposite direction. We all have the same problems. Right, Kez. That is a brilliant way. That's the way you achieve goals, one bite at a time. If you did 10 minutes towards your goal every day, you've got a good chance of achieving it. All right. Rather than stopping yourself totally because I'm overwhelmed. Yeah, it's funny, Beth, there's going to come a time in your life, and I'm not sure when that will happen. There is going to come a time in your life, and I hope that I'm still around to be there and talk you through it, when you realize, boy, I did far too much for too long. It's no wonder I'm exhausted. It's no wonder, that my body doesn't function properly. We weren't built to take this much stress on every day. And so, to me, it's like, yeah, you're Superwoman, but there are other people willing to take on that title. So ADD affects you how? Does the ADD cause you to drink caffeine, or does the caffeine cause you to be more ADD? For those of you who don't know what ADD is, attention deficit disorder. Which way does it go, Kerry? Do you lose control of carpal tunnels? Nasty. A lot of my friends have it operated on, Beth. So just I'm certain your doctors talked about that possibility. If it's really bad, you might want to have something done about it. Does anybody else watching at the moment have ADD or ADHD? ADHD would be attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I believe. Okay, so you're saying that when she has the ADD, the caffeine slows her down. What do you get, a cortisone shot, Beth? Yeah, you see, Beth, that's why I'm seeking first to understand, right? Because for some people it goes one way, and for other people it goes the other. So in Kerry's case, because she's overcaffeinated, her ADD is acting up, and she knows that. All right, so I've got a thumb that causes me a problem every now and then, Beth. It locks up completely. It's excruciatingly painful. And some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Can't remember what the right name for it is. And when that happens to me, it happens to me. It's why I stopped watering my garden. It was happening a lot to me whenever I watered the garden. So I went, I'm going to stop watering the garden. I don't want this to keep happening. But yeah, that cortisone into the joints is not my idea of neurotic experience, I must say. It's it's like, nah, I don't really like that very much. But it does certainly stop the problem. Touching wood. Or at least for a time. Yeah, Kerry, remember the breathe in for 5, hold for 5, breathe out for 5. Try and work that in if you can. No, Beth, I would think you got it from being a claims officer that did 150% every day rather than just, everybody else is 75. It's not just that you were doing it. It's the amount you were doing. And you probably won prizes for how quickly you did everything and how many you were able to process. And also, I can imagine. Okay, so here's Erin's take on this. Caffeine works the opposite on anybody who has ADD, just like anything that would hype anybody up works to calm them down. See, isn't it interesting what you learn medically when you do something like this? Yeah, snuggle up. Yeah, you might want to put on a nice movie and just chill. Beth, I didn't even have to think about that. Everybody hated you because you were so good. Yeah, and so fast. And you didn't make any friends that way. But you rather liked what it brought you, though. You did like being number one, right? Let's get it clear. And I'm sure your bosses loved you because you did twice as much work as everybody else for the same price as everybody else. That saved them a whole nother person. You think about that. And, I'm laughing, Beth, because, I used to do the same thing. I take work home every night. Yeah, they raise their production based on you. Yep. When I left one job, Beth, you understand I'm laughing with you, not against you. When I left one job, they actually replaced my position with 2 people because no one person was able to do the job. Yeah, I totally relate, Beth. And the first person that tried to take over from me said, "How did you ever do this job, from 8:30 to 5?" And I said, "Well, I never did. I took work home every night, and I worked all weekend." You know what I mean, Beth? It's like, I had a production to keep up. Yeah, I had budgets to write and, you know, quotas to fill. Yeah, so, Beth, you have no idea how much I relate to you. My problem was I didn't get thin. Mind you, I was pretty thin then. And now that I think about it, yeah, I even went down to a size 10 then. The memories of that. So breathe, everybody. And the challenge that I have for you all this week, all right, and we'll talk about it next Friday, is what can you do towards your goal, whatever your goal is. You understand, as we've heard, we've all got different goals. Some of us want to get a little healthier. Some of us want to slow down a bit. Some of us want to speed up a bit. Some of us want to be creative. Some of us want to just see if we've got the discipline to stop and just be. So we've all got goals and they are all equally important. You do get that. It's just your goal. Yes, Nana, absolutely. You need to make it well, you may choose to make it a priority, and I think you're right with the word need. If you truly want to be happy and balanced, you need to make time for it. You need to have tickets. It is so hard, isn't it, Nana? Yeah, I agree. It is really hard. I'm not joking. I haven't thrown any paint around for probably 10 days now. That's scary, isn't it? But let me try and see here. I did manage to get a couple of paints of varnish on this one that you all loved. And I painted the back and I haven't signed it yet. But, so it's not that I haven't done anything, but I haven't actually, to me, that's hard work. I don't like doing those sort of things. I like the throwing the paint on bit. Yes, Beth. And you need to give yourself a point, Beth. If you can, try and keep a diary and go, I ignored the dust on the floor, 1 point. Right? It wasn't mine to pick up. Right. Not that I'm not saying don't do it all the time because that's not you. You will always want to do that sort of stuff, but just every now and then practice not doing it. Because we know how hard that's going to be for you. My friend and tenant Yvonne that lives here, she was totally OCD when I met her, an absolute neat freak. And it's amazing to see how she has shifted. And she says to me every now and then, "If I hadn't met you, Sal, I don't think I would have learnt this. I'm so much happier." You laughed on the way home. And you know how good laughing is for you? You know how, it really you did it already, well done. You have no idea how important it is to laugh. So that's the other thing. What did you do to amuse yourself? If any of you can have that as a goal, all right? Did I watch some of the stupidest, funniest movies I can imagine just so that I could laugh? Or did I go and have coffee with a friend that always makes me chuckle? And by the way, for those of you who remember the story about my friend who went camping with the 5-year-old, do you remember that story? She just said she's home now, and she said 5 days with a 5-year-old. ... That's an ellipses, but ... exhausting. Beth, I'm amazed at how far you have come in a very short time. So well done. You really are an inspiration to a lot of us. And here I am doing my bit as well. So everybody do the best you can. But this week, that's what we're concentrating on. This week, do something for yourself that you haven't been doing. All right. Whether that's be creative. Yeah, she's going to need another vacation. You're right, Jody. But you know something, Jody? Whenever I go on vacation with her, and she and I have done that, do you know that we talk through the night? Yeah, literally, we will sit there and we will chat through the night and into the next day, and sometimes into the next night as well. And it's just like we have literally fallen asleep while we were busy chit chatting. And so to me, it's like, whatever you want to do on your vacation, whether that's rest or just, do that. Yeah, it's okay. And it really is fun when we do it because, we don't agree on everything either. And she'll go, yeah, but what about da da da? And I go, no, I don't think so. She's going, yeah, but I do. And I'm going, okay, let's hear it then. Let me hear why. And she'll tell me, and I go, okay, I still don't agree with you. And the funny thing is, we never take it personally. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, well, you're a raving idiot because you don't understand. We just go, okay, fine. And I keep saying, there must be something I'm not quite getting because I still don't see it that way. So keep trying to, give me the input. All right, everybody. I hope that this has been of some value to you. And I hope that somewhere in here, you got a little aha moment that went, okay, fine, I need to do that for myself. If you did, then it was worth the time we spent going through this. I want to thank you all for being here, and definitely Kez, welcome, and thank you for joining in. For all of you who are regulars, you are the fabric of what makes other people feel safe. It is really important that you understand that your willingness to participate, your willingness to tell your truth encourages so many other people to see their stuff and not get frightened by it. So a big hug to you all for being who you are and being prepared to be that honest and everything else. Have an awesome week. Awesome Saturday. I will see you on Sunday for some of you. And if I don't see you until next week, I hope you have an awesome week. I am going to go and get some rest. I'm going to get a little bit of food inside me, and then I'm going to take my little blankie and I'm going to turn over and get some rest because that's really what I feel I need more than anything. Because I would like to be able to open my eyes tomorrow without them being all puffed up and doing whatever. All right. Big hugs to you, Nana. Look after that hand. Make sure you ice it and do whatever you know is good. Whatever you would do for a child. No, I don't want that to be a trigger. Whatever you would do for someone you love, do that to yourself, right? Whether it's ice packs or warm packs. I know that you are very good at nurturing people. So, do give to yourself as much as you would give to others. And then you'll be able to paint easily again, which is really what we all want for you. Yeah, good. All right, everybody. Thanks, Beth. I hope we got to smile out of you this evening. And Jody, just do for yourself what you do for me, and you will be just fine. Make time.